Hey James, this is Alan Lee with the Handyman Journey. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, doing great. Thanks so much for setting up this call. Is right now still work to talk for about 15 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, I'd love to hear a little bit about you and how you're hoping I can help you.
Yeah, so I got into the home service field about a year and a half ago. I left a 14-year job at a call center as a senior operations manager. It was a global call center. The name was Sykes. We had sites all over the United States and some overseas, places like Costa Rica, El Salvador. We were what we called a vendor call center that had multiple clients, and we took care of their customers for them. One of our biggest, and the one I worked on, was AT&T.
Okay.
So I worked for the AT&T client, took care of customer service. We were required to take care of them when they called in to ask about questions about their bill or make payments. But we were also required to upsell to direct TV or home internet services on every call. I moved up within a company, became, like I said, a senior operations manager, and pretty much ran the call center that I worked at for a long time. And pandemic came in, and it kind of changed the landscape of everything. It wasn't really something that I was wanting to do anymore. And I've always had like this interest in doing something of my own. And I had a career coach, and he got me in touch with some people with a franchise company called Ace Handyman Services. And I ended up going through the process and buying to an Ace Handyman Service franchise. And then I started and opened it last year in April of 2023. And it just now learning the whole business aspect, and what I'm really trying to do now is learn how I can continue to develop myself and grow. I've learned a lot. I'm reading like Tommy's book, Home Service Millionaire right now. I've got his other book, Elevate, I'm going to read next. But just trying to grow, learn how I can take this home service business, this franchise, at least have my location, and eventually, get to where maybe I can even upscale it and open up a couple more territories. And I'm just kind of honestly learning how to get through the networking and the marketing aspect of it, just trying to do whatever I can to get the phones to ring so I can keep my guys busy and keeping them where they can feed their families and take care of their families.
Yeah, definitely. So do you currently have any employees?
Yes, I have 2 handymen right now, and I have a new office manager. I've kind of had to revamp, some of the things I've learned about reading Tommy's book and listening to his podcast and some other podcasts and stuff as well, and some other material I've read. I kind of realized, some of the people I had in place in the beginning wasn't really fitting what I needed. So I've kind of almost restarted type situation. I actually just started training a new office manager today. And then I have 2 handymen that are kind of stuck with me and kind of want to produce and give the standard that I want to my customers without any kind of real pushback, and they're really bought into taking care of the customers and delivering the service that I want to deliver to them. So I'm really kind of trying to now build on a bigger handyman team off those 2 people.
Right, for sure. So how has business been over the last year and a half or so? Has it been, have you had plenty of calls come in? Like, what would you say is one of your main hiccups or issues right now?
To be honest with you, I think that's one of the main hiccups. Like, it comes in spurts, it seems like. There's times where, like, we'll be busy one month, and, I make money, but not near the amount that I kind of anticipated or I planned in the beginning. When I did the business plan and everything, I wanted this to be a multi-million-dollar location. I've seen other locations in the franchise make, anywhere from $1 to $3 million a year. But I'm barely right now pushing, $250K a year. But this is my first full year. Like, I started in April last year, but I try not to make excuses, because everybody wants to say, well, it's election year, inflation's high and people not want to, they're pinching pennies and not want to spend money on home services. I get that. I get that it probably has something to do with some of it, but I still think there's money out there to be made.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why I'm just trying to find a way to navigate around those concerns or those issues and really get the phone calls to ring more. Like I feel like I'm spending too much money in like my PPC right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have a company that I go with right now that does PPC and display on social media and also a YouTube display for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to them about maybe leveraging some of that, not a lot of it, more to get more organic SEO through, managing my Google business profile. So they're going to start doing that because I just feel like I'm wasting a lot of money. And when I look at my ROI, I really am. I'm spending, $2,600 a month in those 300, if not more, in those 3 areas. But I'm not getting the return back from those. The return I'm getting back is from the legwork that I'm putting in from networking locally, or when I see people on Facebook, hey, does anybody know a handyman, or does anybody know anybody that can do this or that? I'll get on there and comment, and I let them know that I can help them. Call office number, and I usually get leads that way by doing that legwork that way through social media.
Right. So, a few things. How are you keeping these 2 handymen full-time busy right now?
Really, honestly, probably enough work to keep one busy and one part-time right now.
Okay. And what do you charge per hour right now?
That's a concern. So, right now I charge $125.
Okay.
Service charge.
Okay. And then is that just the service charge, or is that what you charge kind of per hour moving forward?
No, it's just the service charge is just for that's part of the package that we offer. Usually I try to, on the phone, I'm selling customer 2, 4, 6, 8-hour packages, depending on what they need, will fit best with those packages. And each package has a one-time $65 service charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest is $125 an hour. So, like, for example, if I say half a day, 4-hour package, that's $565. So $500 for the 125 times 4, and then the $65 for the service charge.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, alrighty, cool, man. So right now it sounds like you're spending quite a bit on marketing. Do you have, and you do like local events? What kind of events did you say that you do? You do like Chamber of Commerce or?
There's no BNI group in my area. I try to get in those in the beginning. There's one BNI that's like way out, like towards the end of my territory that I try to go to every now and then, but really they're kind of outside of my area right now until I expand to get the business in my territory. They're in Bryant, in Arkansas, which is outside of my. But anyway, right now I'm going to Chamber of Commerce. The ones that I got 4 that's in my territory. Cause I cover four cities in my area. So one's called Hot Springs, one's called Hot Springs Village, one's called Malvern, and one's called Benton. So each one of them will have a Chamber of Commerce. So I go to those, and I go to all their networking events. If they have like a luncheon or a after hours event or something like that, anything they have, I go to. Sometimes the Chamber of Commerce also puts on little trade shows,
Mm-hmm.
like little home shows at some of the convention centers here. So I go to those. I just got a thing in the middle of the day to renew this other company it's a business company that does a lot of home shows in the area. I'm signed up with them, so that'll be another 4 this year that I'll go to through them. And then Wednesday, I have on my schedule to go to. There's this thing called Foodies. It's a group that goes around to different like restaurants and kind of support local and small business restaurants. But I go there because there's a lot of other business owners that's doing that. So I can kind of mingle and meet with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that while also supporting that small business restaurant. So.
Okay. Awesome. So if I could help you out in one way, what would you say is something that you could use help with?
Really, really, it's just the, I feel like sometimes I'm at a loss of like what direction to go to get the calls to come in, the phone to ring, because I don't want my office manager. She can do a lot. I'm using her as much as possible to also go out and network with me. Right now, she's out. Since I knew I was going to have this call, I have her out now. Meet with some people and also hang out door hangers for us. But if I can just get a direction on how to get the more leads to call in, more phones to call in, because my main concern is I want to keep my people busy. I want to be able to my employees to have good checks and be able to take care of their family.
Right.
Because one thing I agree with, listen to a bunch of other home service experts and reading the book from that Tommy wrote and everything. I do believe, if you take care of your people, they'll turn around and take care of the business. So
yeah, definitely. Do you guys use any kind of yard signs or anything?
we do, yes, sir.
Okay. Where do you deploy those yard signs at? Do you do them at every job?
Yes, we usually put them out at every job. If the customer gives it, 9 times out of 10 they give us the okay, but if for some reason they don't, that's the only reason we don't put it up. But we always ask their permission if it's okay to put a yard sign up first.
Okay. Yeah, because, so marketing is an interesting thing. Really what marketing is it comes down to reputation. Marketing equals reputation. So the longer you do it, the more you will grow. The bigger, it's kind of like a snowball, right? The longer that it's rolling, the bigger that it gets. And so you've been doing this since April 2023, and you have about a year and a half under your belt. You're still fairly new, and 2024 has been just across the board. We talked to thousands of handyman, and across the board, 2024 has been kind of the worst year for leads for whatever reason, right? It's an election year, the economy's crazy, the world's going nuts, but there's always those excuses, and there's always ways to kind of set yourself apart from it. There's a great video that actually in one of our coaching calls in the Handyman Academy, Jason Call actually ran it a couple weeks ago, and we have that on our YouTube channel. I want to direct you to that, because that's a really good video as far as how to keep yourself busy during the slow season. So a bunch of different a bunch of different guerrilla marketing tactics that you could do to help bring in the leads. But one huge thing, and it sounds like you're doing it, which is great. I would recommend that you don't stop doing it, is putting a yard sign out at every person's house. Because that's personal referral is probably one of the strongest marketing tactics that you can do, and it's the cheapest. So just getting people to start talking about you and your business will be super beneficial. If you're not already, make sure that you are directing people to leave you a review on Google after every job. You can use different platforms to gather those, like Nice Job and things like that. But reviews, yard signs, door hangers, Facebook groups. It sounds like you're doing a lot of those things, but I think just keep plugging away at those things, and they will pay off.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess that's the thing. Like, I feel like I do a lot of those things, and when I talk to people, I don't want to be one of those people like, well, I'm doing that. I'm doing that. I'm always believe that I don't know everything, and I'm okay to admit that I don't know everything, so I'm willing to learn more. But so that's why I wanted to sign up for this call and everything, because I know I don't know everything. So if I can get any kind of lead or advice or direction, that's great. But but then a lot of people tell me, hey, you are only a year and a half into this, so it's a struggle usually your first 2 to 3 years, because you are doing all that plugging away, and it seems like you're not getting where you want to be, but it just takes time sometimes. So.
Yep, that's exactly it. Really, marketing takes a while to pay off, and the longer you do it, the more it pays off. So it's like it's really front loaded. You do a lot of work at the beginning, the first year, second year, third year, and then it starts paying off. Where now we've been in business, this is our 9th year, and a lot of the stuff that we did year 1, year 2, year 3 is really starting to pay off. And that has a lot to do with just brand awareness. We have. I know with Ace Handyman, you probably got branded trucks. That really makes a difference as well. Having guys go out in uniforms, branded trucks, people see you. You want people to see you everywhere. Be like, man, I see this guy everywhere. He must be good. I got to give him a call. And just keep plugging away at that, doing the basics. I think a lot of people get stuck in thinking that it can't just be that simple. But at the end of the day, it is there's three things that people want. They struggle finding someone to answer the phone. They struggle finding someone to actually show up. And they struggle finding someone to do the work for the price that they say they're going to do it. So if you could do those three things every single time and just do a really good job, it's bound to pay off, and you're bound to get more clients as you go further.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I go back and look at, we went over to Service Titan back in February. So now I'm using that, which I'm also doing like email marketing through there. And I'm also now starting to experience with some direct mail. But one thing I liked about Service Titan is the reports that you can pull from it. And I see the numbers, if I compare the months that I was in business last year when I first opened to the months that we were open this year, the numbers have grown. The revenue's more, but it's in my opinion, it's small amounts more. It's not significant amounts more to where I'm trying to get to, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I think, one huge thing that I think people just don't do is, document everything. You have to make sure that you document everything because what you track grows. So if you're not documenting it, there's no possible way to measure the growth. So definitely make sure that you're documenting everything, and seeing how things grow and how you can manipulate things to make them grow a little bit faster, a little bit differently. You need to know exactly what your expenses are, what your income is, how much your net profit is. Are you actually making money? Because I think a lot of people, they confuse the fact that they're busy with being profitable. There's a big difference between those two things. And I'd rather be slower but profitable than busy and not profitable. So that's another really good thing that you're doing too, is making sure that you document everything.
Yeah, and also I had to do that with my price structure too, because we do, and here in the place I am in Arkansas, some people will hear the prices and like, oh, that's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I have to remind myself if I don't want to do it for cheaper, because one, I feel like I'm disvaluing our service, but then two, if I'm just discounting it to make some money, I'm not gonna make enough to really be profitable and pay for all the overhead and everything. So I've really kind of stuck to my guns with my prices, even though I've had those people. I just now feel like, those people that can't afford that are just maybe not my customers that need it, Although I do try to help and throw out some promotions every now and then to help. I just kind of now I feel like, sometimes they're just not my customers. And I think in the beginning I felt like I needed to get everybody. Like everybody needed to be my customer.
Right, yeah. And that's an interesting thing that we talk a lot about in our book, The Handyman Freedom Formula, all about the volume one's about mindset. And, oftentimes when your prices match the type of clientele that you bring in. So the lower you charge, the lower type of clientele you actually bring in. The higher you charge, the higher end clientele you bring in. So if you charge lower, you're just going to instinctively get people who kind of expect a lower return on their investment. Whereas if you start charging more, you're going to be higher than those people can pay, and you're going to be getting into a whole different kind of echelon of handyman clients, people that actually expect kind of excellence in a sense, and they expect to, pay quite a bit more than, because they know that you can find a $20 an hour handyman anywhere, but there's a reason why they don't want to hire that person. And it's because of basically the services that they bring, the warranty, the expertise, the professionalism, and therefore they're willing to, dish out more money to get good service. So you have to stand behind your pricing, and know what you need to charge. I think that's why it's so important to figure out exactly where your hourly rate needs to be, and then sticking to that, and just realizing that some people aren't going to hire you, and that's okay. They're looking for the $20 an hour guy, and that's not you, you know.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah. Yep. I think you're spot on. Is there any other questions that I can help you out with before we get off the phone here?
No, I think that's it. I think you kind of helped give me a little bit of direction of just pretty much sticking to it and keep doing more. The more I do, the more I'll get. And then I think you also helped me confirm that, you know, some of the things I'm doing is right. I just need to stick with it and don't budge on like stuff like my price and my standards. So
Right. Yep. Yeah, you just gotta, you know, it's interesting, you know, like Warren Buffett, right? He's super rich guy, but he didn't really do anything crazy. Like uh, Dave Ramsey says this all the time. Like he doesn't. There's not really. It's not really rocket science. You just do the same thing every single day, and it pays off at the end of your life. You know, you invest $500 a month every single month for your whole life, you know, or whatever it is, right? And then one day it will pay off. And same thing in business is you go out, you knock on the doors, you put out the yard signs, you reply to people on Facebook, you know, get reviews, you have a good high quality website. Like all these things, they're very simple in nature, but they're kind of boring. You know, it's like, I mean, I wish I could tell you that, oh, there's this one thing that's just going to skyrocket your business, but that's not really out there. You kind of just got to do the nitty gritty work every single day and do it really well, and eventually it'll pay off.
I guess it's just weird. It's just weird or kind of unusual for it to be that simple, but it just takes time. You know, and I think a lot of things nowadays that people, including I guess myself, really now I think about it. Sometimes you're looking for that instant gratification when sometimes if it's not instant, you just gotta wait for it.
Yep.
For it to come around.
Yep. You're spot on.
So,
Yep.
well, I appreciate your advice and your help and everything. I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate you taking the time to call me and go through this with me.
All right, brother. Yeah, you're very welcome. I'd love to set up another call with me here in about 2 or 3 months, and we could chat again.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. And what was the name of your book again that y'all
have? The Handyman Freedom Formula, Volume 1. It's Mindset.
Okay. All right, well, I need to look into that. So can you get that off Amazon, or just is it that I need to go check your website?
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, James. Good talking with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Take care.